Yo, how you doing? Another Sunday evening. Yo, 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 yo. What's happening, people? Hello? Man, like. Oh, boy. Yes, people. Yes, people. Much respect, Sam. Yo, Antoine. Sophie, Faith. Come on. How's everyone doing? Hope you're good. Hope everyone's doing good. So I'm a little bit late. It's my bad. I've just got in the yard. Is it cold here? It's England, bruv. We talk about. All right, cool. Let's jump straight into this. If you're just joining me, it's Open Honest. I've got the privilege and pleasure of speaking to an absolute brother of mine, Jacob Banks. So I'm gonna just invite him in just now. 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. Can you guys hear me, all right? Man, like.
One.
Man, like. Hey, listen. Hey, this is a big deal, you know. Man, like Jacob Banks. What you saying to me?
Oh, man, but just thank God, man, alive and well. How you living?
Come on. Come on. Yeah, man. All good. All good. Everything been well? Sunday chilling out or what? What's the deal?
Yeah, everything's blessed, man. Just sounds morbid, but this is my reality. I'm just always kind of waiting for the day to end. I feel like I'm in a nice ass jail. Just waiting to be allowed to think freely and do what I want to do. But you know, yeah, it's all good.
I hear that. You spoke to Mumsy today?
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course, man. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Come on.
Shit you lot, man.
Come on. Come on. Bro, before we even go into this, congratulations on the project you released on Friday.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
My friends, I blatantly just took that as that's for me. The record is for me.
It was.
Man's rinsed that thing.
For you. Also, your record as well, man. It's gorgeous.
Hey, bless, brother. Bless, bro. Listen, you're because obviously the record before this was your album.
Yeah.
When did you start working on this recent thing?
Probably at the top of quarantine. I came off tour. Well, like shit. I'd been on tour for like 3 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
So probably started around June.
Mm-hmm.
And what I enjoyed about that last one is I recorded everything in my spare room. So I've never ever had. I've always kind of just worked off like in studios or with other people, but due to the pandemic, I set up my own studio.
Love that.
I just record my vocals. I work over email with like producers that I love, and and it's been dope.
Love that, bruv. Yeah, I think it's the whole survive and adapt, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
How did you
recording your album? Was your album done before or during?
Nah, dude. March this time last year, March. That's when, man, I was in again spare room vibe, tracking stuff. Did as much as I could hear, and then getting like strings parts in remotely and guitar parts in remotely, and yeah, man, you make it work, innit?
Amen.
You make it work, bro. All right, my bro. Let's jump into this. You good to go?
Yeah, man.
All right. If you're just joining us, my name's Jake. This is Jacob Banks, and we're going to hit some open and honest conversation here based around creativity, based around bits and pieces and personal experience. Here we go. Quick fire questions. Brother, yard food or Nando's?
Come on, what's this? Of course it's Nando's. No. I think I've had yard food every day for a whole year since lockdown. I'm not even joking. Like maybe I've gone 2 days without it. But when that whole like support your local black businesses, I took it serious. I've only had either yard food or African food, literally every day.
No long tea. No long tea. All right, cool. Clarks or Nikes?
Nikes.
Burner or Wizkid?
What's all this, fam?
No. Don't think twice. Don't stall, bro. Don't stall.
Wizkid. Doesn't mean no shade to Burner, but I think Burner would be offended if I said Burner.
Okay. Fair play.
I think Wiz is, I mean, the band just the blueprint, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
but
I hear that.
First, to really open that global space, like to really take what the band did, but has to be Wizkid. The band just cold.
Cool. Man said these things with his whole chest. I like this. Amy Winehouse or Tracy Chapman?
Again, who's writing these questions?
Me with my whole chest, bro. Come on, let's go. We say
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse, cool. Jasmine Sullivan or her?
But what is this? Jasmine Sullivan.
Are you sweating?
These aren't even like, they're of different worlds. Like, again, also, I have to always nod my hat, but like, these are all incredible artists, but
100%.
You're comparing the people who paved the way to the people who are like blazing a trail. So it's like, both important work, but there's no her without Jasmine Sullivan. There's no Burner without Wizkid.
Say nada. All right, bro. Mariah or Whitney? We've got 4 more to go, so bro, come on, let's go.
Whitney,
cool. Perform with a guitar or perform without a guitar?
I'm shit on the guitar, so without a guitar.
Touring or creating?
I mean, touring.
All right. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Last one. Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury?
Anthony Joshua.
That's a good answer. All right. Let's jump in. You made it through, bro. That's it. Then we're done with that. Let's get to the serious things. Bro, when I was thinking about our chat today, there were 2 words, one phrase that came to mind when I thought of you. I've known you and known of you for a while. If I'm not mistaken, we started making music in this country or performing in this country, doing the circuits like Love Lounge and Vocals and Verses and all them about the same time.
Yeah.
And as I've watched and admired your journey, as a bro, as another musician, as a black guy, the 2 words that come to mind are intentional creativity. Bro, everything I watch you do, and it encourages me and inspires me. Everything about your creativity is intentional. So the words I wanted, the questions which I had in mind for you today are shaped around those 2 things. So the first question I had was, when you first signed to a major, what was the vision you had for yourself as a creative, and how did you go about shaping that vision, if you had one when you first signed?
I think when you speak as an artist, there's this idea that you've had the answers all along, because you're always speaking in hindsight. So looking back, and it always looks like you knew all along. But the truth is, my first deal, which was with Atlantic Records UK, I had no clue. Nothing. I was probably the most clueless I'd been. And there's no fault of anything. I didn't start making music till I was 21. So like, I didn't know what a manager was till I was like 22. Like, I was learning at such an incredible pace, and I had no idea what was going on. So that really shaped a lot of my decision. Like, going into that deal, I assumed that everybody knew what it was. So I assumed that, my manager at the time and the guys I was signed to at the time, I just assumed that nothing has to be spoken. Like, you know what I am. Come, let's do this. But time went on, it was like, we actually have to have a conversation about what you're trying to achieve. And I didn't know what I was trying to achieve at that time. There's no way I could have known. I was figuring it out. I was understanding how circuits work, how radio works, how streaming. It just happened around that time as well. There were lots of changes. I think when we started out, you earned your perks by touring and playing like open mics, but
right.
then it shifted to like blogs, like over one weekend. It was like if Fader don't talk about you, big man, it's not happening.
Facts.
And that was like,
facts.
it was literally like a weekend. It was like on all that open mic stuff. Like, yeah, we're posting now. If we're not posting, it's not real. And PRs became a thing, and I was just confused for a long time. And yeah, so to answer your question, I had no real vision, and I didn't have any until I left that label. I think I was with Atlantic for 2 years, and I decided to leave. And I asked Atlantic if they would let me go. And my A&R at the time goes by the name of Twin B, but his name's Alec, and he did the kindest thing anyone's ever done for me in the music industry up until that point, which was he let me go. He was like, "Look, if you don't feel happy, I'm gonna let you out the case. I'll let you out the gulag." And I was out of there. And in that moment, I think I left London. I moved to Hertfordshire for a year. I sold everything I had, and I recorded this EP called The Paradox, just all on my own. And then that's why I found it. That's why I found I found that I found what was enough for me.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Like I struggle with, like, give you an example. I've been on Instagram for God knows how many years. This is my first Insta Live ever. Like I have to manage this space carefully. I love my work, but I love who I am more. So I'm not willing to trade off. I don't want to trade off myself to acquire certain things. So I had to find this line where it's like, where is my baseline? And everything that happens past that line is just a bonus for me. And I found out that I could make music and gain like monetary values in like the stuff I do in films or stuff I do on tour. I could gain a quality of life while still loving what I do, without having to feel like I'm having to give up my being to acquire things that will pass over time.
Yeah. Well, as I said, there's an intentionality about your progression, and I understand that those early days it was the unknown, but how you've evolved, bro, it's not normal. It's do you know what I mean? It feels super intentional. It feels it feels super progressive. I feel like just with that experience, when you came out to do the Paradox record, was there a sense, because I know that the sound was the record that I knew you did on Atlantic was it Move Like You?
Yeah, Move With You.
Move With You, right. The sound that you came with on Paradox was night and day compared to that vibe. Where did that come from? Because for me, for you to come through that experience and then there be an amicable letting go, I feel like you protected some of who you are in the Paradox. How did you do that? How did you maintain that?
So when we wrote Move With You, it was written intentionally for FIFA. So FIFA,
all right.
Cool. Me, Nux Brown, and Jada, and a friend of mine called Abbas Shah. We all got together and wrote this song for FIFA. And then it was the first time where I realized that, like, you know, we live in a capitalist world. So the notion was, if it's going on FIFA, boom, let's put it out. And I was just the whole time I was like, this ain't it. Like I realized that I could step out of a song. Like, I'm happy having to live in a film and not just be that. I don't necessarily want to put all my eggs in that basket. And it was the first time where I realized, like, no, if it's going to FIFA, we have to push it. I was like, do we have to? Can it just not be on FIFA and just do its thing over there? They were like, no. And I was kind of convinced to allow it to be something. And I'm trying to be careful because it doesn't mean much. But it was the first time I realized I thought my lesson from movie review was the fact that I could put out something that I was iffy about, and the world would still, it would still mean the world to some people. So I have to imagine what it would feel like if I did something that I actually loved.
Wow.
How much that would mean to people. If people can love the stuff that I wasn't happy about how it panned out. Like, I liked the song, it was meant to live in a certain space, and it was moved out that space. But so I always imagine, like, if people can fuck with the stuff I'm not overjoyed about, they're gonna love the stuff I actually love. That they're gonna be as weird as me. So when I made The Paradox, it was really like a bet on myself, and it was me choosing to, like, it was a dark time. Like, I remember being like mad depressed at the time, and coming out of that, and a lot of the songs that I wrote about that was about that process, and really trusting that we're gonna be okay. I don't know how, and and there's always, God always hooks me up every time. I don't know why he keeps blessing me, but always shows up for me. He always shows up for me, and it just, the right people came at the right time. I left my management at that time as well. So when I did The Paradox, I was like completely by myself, no one at all. And yeah, man, just me and God, and hooked us up.
I am one of the, again, just around this intentional creativity thing. One of the questions I had was, now you've moved on with a new label,
Yeah.
new camp, new context. How do you protect and maintain your sense of creativity, your unique sense of creativity, and being intentional with what you're building and the vision you have? How do you maintain that?
My new team, real special. They're managed by a guy called Brandon, Jordan, and Josh, but they run a company called S10, and it's in partnership with Rock Nation. And I think me and Brandon met at the perfect time. So Paradox had gone kind of viral, like the song Monster had taken off, and it was like #1 on Hype Machine or Hype FM, whatever that's called. It was a thing back in our day. But and Brandon hit me up, and he was like, yo, like, he hit me up to produce for someone else. And then when I responded, he was like, oh, this boy don't know no management. Let me scoop that. But I must have aired him for about 5 months because I was salty. So like when it worked, I was just in a salty place for like a good 4 months, where I was just kind of like, I want to just live in this moment because I needed this. I didn't want it to be a thing. I had labels hitting me up. Everyone wanted to have a meeting. I want to live here because just me and the homies did this. Like, you man went here when this was kicking. So he just wouldn't leave me alone. And eventually, I hopped on the phone with him when I went to New York to meet him, and he was just transitioning from he had been working in a live circuit, so he used to run like nights, like DJ nights in his college, and then we started together. So in that space, we developed a kind of understanding that like it takes. One thing I've realized is, when I look in someone's face and I tell them that I have no plans of being the biggest artist in the world, I can see how much it takes them back. And it took him a while to understand that Jacob doesn't want these things. So the best way he supports me, they do all like the emails and negotiating and all that, and they get paid. And they let me be Jacob, and I let them be S10. I don't tell them how to do their job. They don't tell me how to do mine. And we trust that we are good at our jobs. Essentially, that's kind of how I like to work. If I work with you out, I trust that you're good at what you say you do. And they do their work, I do mine, and we meet in the middle. I mean, bust case every time. And it's just been, and I think for the most part, it's we're friends.
Yeah.
My boy, like Brandon's my boy, Jordan's my boy, Josh is my boy. Those are my people. Nicole's those are all my people. And I know they've got my back and they know I've got theirs, like outside of work. So we just kind of trust that everyone's good at what they do and we'll just leave it alone.
Strong. Yeah, strong. The sense of team. Yeah, it's strong. It's yeah. You resonate loud. Again, just my own journey's been similar. When you work with the right people and the context is great, you get good stuff out of it. It's a given. I suppose the last question, and this is a bit of a chunky one, but and that's the reason I saved it for last. But dude, you signed abroad. Now hear me, yeah. There's a bag of artists that were doing the thing over here, signed abroad, bus, and then come back, and now everyone's talking about it. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, part of your journey was that you were doing the thing over here with Atlantic, that thing ended, you did the Paradox thing, but then you found your space abroad. Was that correct?
Yeah.
Because you're with Interscope. Who are you with? Sorry, who are you with now?
Interscope.
Right.
But the thing, it looks that way.
Yeah.
Like, like there's always this like narrative around that I see a lot, narrative around my career and a bunch of us lot, like our year group, where it's like underappreciated or under something. There's always under. Like I can't consider myself under anything because every time I come here and play a show, my tour sells out. So to say I'm under anything, I feel like it's a disrespect to the people that show out for me. Like, it's fine. Like, it's just fine. Like, I did this whole campaign. I've done my last 2 records have never been playlisted on any radio in the UK. Like, that happened. Like, to really, if we start playing the soul like under something, I just don't feel like that's true because there's people that fuck with us. There's people that care. So to say I'm undervalued is a disrespect to the people that show up every time. Like every time, there's just, I'm sure if you search through your brain, there's the same people that come with larger groups to your shows all the time. To make myself feel small, it's just not true, and it's fine. Like it's not everything going for everybody. Like yes, I sign over there. I don't chart in the States. I don't chart here. I chart in France, which is random, but the French label over there, they're G's, like Polydor France, legends. I chart in the Netherlands because they're legends over there and they work hard. But like success for me isn't. I think we have to change how we quantify success. Like like Lil Connor doesn't chart, but he would never say he's unsuccessful. Tom Miss doesn't chart. Sam Hench chart, but Jake Isaac doesn't chart.
Yeah.
He's a success with people because longevity is success. So it's how we have to change how we quantify success, because the whole charting thing and how we quantify success abroad or here is weird. Because I always use this analogy, if you and I were salesmen, if I had access to 10 houses and I sold 5, I sold 50%, that's good business. If you had access to 1,000 and you sold 200, you sold 20%, but technically you sold more, but you also had access to more. So it would look like you did more, but we're making the best out of what we have.
Absolutely.
And I think that's dope. Like I just, for a while it used to bother me, but after some time passed, I was just kind of like, why am I keep asking to be let into a yard that keeps telling me they don't want me in the yard? Like every time I go in and like, yo, let me see what's going on here. Then I'm like, no. So why should I bother? Because they're not bothered. They're doing their thing respectfully. And it just doesn't, it's not for everyone, man. Like, yes, there was yes, when I signed to Interscope and picked up my management, I was abroad, it looked like more, but I don't feel like it's any different. I don't feel any different when I'm in Russia or when I'm here. I don't feel like my success there has made me feel any more accepted here, is my point. Nothing really. Like, as far as like, I don't get the looks here.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also don't feel like it matters. I think different strokes for different folks. I don't. I also, if I'm being completely honest, I also don't think I'm palatable for the looks, because I'll say some shit.
What's this guy talking about?
I'll say something mad. Everything's locked off. So it's probably best that I stay in my yard anyway. So I think because it's a game, you have to want to play. You have to want to take the selfies. You have to want to. You have to want to do certain things, and that's just not a sacrifice I'm willing to make. So I have to be okay with not being invited to these things, because I live in a world that comes across like I don't want to be invited to these things, because I don't.
Hey, Shane,
So,
you're backing up the team right now, you know.
but it's true. Like, you know, we like us lot, we do all this cool shit, and then when we don't get invited to the things that we don't deem cool, we're salty about it.
Yeah,
You know,
hey.
you just say, but deep down, you don't want to go anyway, but you just want to feel like that man should have at least text, man.
Yo, true.
But you go anyway, so it's just this whole game, man. But after a while, I just found to be okay with what I have, man, and what I have is plenty. You know.
Yeah. You when did you start to value what you bring to the world? So I know I said the last question was the last question. This is
No, fine.
When and how did you start to value what you bring to the world? Because, bro, let me tell you something, and I'm saying this in a public space from now. I'm proud and yet humbled and yet inspired, and my chest feels big talking to another brother who's in my class, you know what I mean, starting music in this country, talking to you and knowing in the context of longevity being success, we're still going. I saw one meme the other day which said, we all know men who are still trying to be rappers from school. You understand? Like we're able to do this, and we're able to share our art with people. I was saying in another talk the other day, it's about making music for hearts, not charts. We're able to do that, and we're able to tour, and that is a privilege. And I feel, yeah, I totally feel inspired having this conversation with you, because there's been a mutual journey, you know.
Yeah.
But I think with that in mind, my question to you about when did you start to value, and how did you start to value what you bring to the world? Because for me, that is a crucial part to longevity. You have to value what you're doing, value what you're bringing, value the impact it's having. And when I listen to songs like Parade, bro, like it's just major vibe, and and a lot of your songs, but that song in particular of this recent record, that is that's a backing track to a life scenario. That is, you don't just fling that out there like, oh yeah, man, just fling out the thing. That was, again, intentional creativity. How and when did you start to value what you bring to the world, bro?
I think when everything started to feel blessed for me was when I was able to remove monetary value from stuff. So what I mean by that is, I found for a while, it's like, if my work is tied to how I pay my bills and how I able to look after my family, then there's always going to be a conflict of interest. Because at the end of the day, all this music shit aside, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a friend, I have responsibilities outside of being Jacob Banks. I have to, represent my little village. So I found that if I could create a space where I can make money outside of like music that I put out, then I can work purely out of expression. So I'm not thinking about like, if I put this out, it would do X, Y, and Z, or it would get on this playlist and whatever. And once I was able to eliminate that fact, where I was like, I cool, I can make music and just have it do what music does, then I'm going to be blessed.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, because I'm making stuff and I can live with the consequences. If I look back 2 years from now, I'm like, oh, that mix was a little shit. That's fine, because I was offering the best of a skill set that I had at that time. And I think that's when the value really kicked in, is when I was able to remove that and understand that whatever happens, I am offering the best that I can do at this point in time.
Yeah.
And I have to be okay with that. Like if time passes and I look back and I'm better, I still have to pay homage to that version of me that existed.
Yeah.
And just like, also touring helped a lot. I think touring, seeing people vibe with songs that you made in your bedroom with a couple bres who were high on weed is a special thing, because like people, you can bully people to listen to your music. You genuinely can. You put it in ads, you can put it in playlists, you can trick your way into people's space, but you can't trick someone to spend £16 on a ticket. So you can't, money aside, like, and I say this in any show I play, if anyone's ever been to one of my shows, is I always say, like, time is currency. Like, money's never, I hope you make your money back, but time is currency. Someone choosing to come spend, like 7 p.m. till 12 with you, of time that they will never get back, is the greatest gift anyone could ever give me. And seeing people come out to my shows was the greatest honor they could give me. Like, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be with your boy. And that's when I was like, we're doing work here. And this is important. Like, every time I go on stage, I tell my band, it's like, we have to put ourselves aside. Like, these people are trusting us with their time, and we're gonna show out regardless. If my voice is broke, if my neck is broke, I always say, if I can't sing, I'll do a backflip. Getting something. Like, if you're getting a on some level, like with whatever, and I think that's where my sense of value comes from. It's really trying to make music void of like accolades, and just having it be about the music, and going out and see my people, man, touring and see my people. It's been massive for me.
Jay, man, like JB, bro, it's been a pleasure. Is there, what happens next? What's coming next? I know you just done the thing, so I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but
ideally, I would love to. I want to do more collaborative stuff, man. I was talking about this with my friend yesterday. I want to do more collaborative stuff. I'm not a fan of the whole like album thing. I think do an album with a visual artist, or do an album with, like, me, you, and someone could form a band and we just have one project and that's it. Like, I want to be closer to music and not identify as Jacob Banks, the artist, all the time. I just want to be closer to it. I want to play the triangle on someone's album. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be more immersed in music and have it not be about my name. Just like, we're doing one album, a couple man. That's it. No safe. I want to be close. I think I've complained over records enough for people to know who I am. I want to see what I can learn from music and go into other spaces, and we'll see.
Yeah, bro, so good, my man. Listen, honestly, I mean this. It's good talking to you, bro. Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
With the space, like, this is dope what you've done, man. Congratulations, as well as the music. Like, this is a lot to people, and for people to hear from people they fuck with. So
yeah,
congratulations for doing this as well.
Bless, bro. Bless, bro. Do your thing. I'll shout you during the week or so.
All right, bless.
Bless, monkey. Write this up real quick. Well, there you have it. that was Jacob Banks. My name's Jake Hansen. He's got a record out called For My Friends, and that came out on Friday. If you don't know about it, check it out. It's a banger, an absolute banger. I put a record out maybe a week ago called Honesty. If you're bored and you've got nothing to do, check that out as well. But yeah, I really hope you're enjoying these talks. If there's anyone else that you think or you'd like to see me if there's anyone else you'd like to see me interview, feel free to send me a little DM or comment underneath this video. And hopefully I'll see you again next week. I'll have another guest for you. Take care, have a fantastic week, and stay safe.